Good evening, Papua New Guinea, and welcome to tonight's episode of Sports Seed. Now, I have with me these two gentlemen who are, dressed up pretty flash tonight. Welcome, Jeremy and Elijah.
Thank you, Dion.
Thank you,
It's
Dion.
great to be back here in Sports Scene again. Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since the both of you.
Yes, I think we were always out
Yep.
on location.
You are roving reporters.
Roving
And
reporters.
Lorraine couldn't make it tonight, so I have the company of these two gentlemen. Now, it's been last week, we had a couple of big announcements. First up, we had the announcement of the 2016 Hunters team, the train-on squad.
Yeah, and one of the interesting points that was taken from there is that there are 4 members of that Hunters team who will not be part of this season's squad.
Yes, there are Kato Otio is currently trialing with the Canberra Raiders, as well as and the biggest one.
Hang on.
Captain.
Before we get to that, Kato Otio, Willie Minoga.
Yes, Willie
Gary
Minoga will
Lowe.
be joining
The Townsville
Townsville
Blackhawks.
Blackhawks, and yeah, man, that's where Rod Griffin was, and now he's trialing with
The West Tigers.
West Tigers. So it's good to see a lot of our Papua New Guineans doing extremely well, and because rugby league is probably one of the most popular sports in the country, it's good to see our athletes, making it to the highest level of the competition.
But like you said, perhaps the biggest news is, of course, the loss of
Yes.
Captain Israel Eliab.
Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but there is talks that he might be going over to England, and we do wish him all the best with that. But it's still not confirmed yet, and once it is, we shall let you guys know about that. Also, what, you were going to mention something?
Yeah, well, you've been covering a lot of the Hunters throughout much of 2015. What do you make of Israel Eliab's movement away from the camp, including, of course, William Noga, Gary Lowe? These were literally the top try scorers for the club.
No doubt. When there was talk that Gary Lowe wouldn't make the 2015 season, a lot of people said, what's going to happen to the team? Because he was obviously scoring most of the tries.
Yeah.
But come the 2015 season, we saw other players step up. You had Alex Wera on the wing, you had Stagroth Amian. A lot of new players that came in, and they just kept the momentum going from where the Hunters were. So although it is going to be a loss for the team, seeing some of these players move out of the team, this will create a pathway for a lot of the younger raw talent to come up, and from 2014 season, 2015 season, you saw a big improvement in the team, and we lost a player as such as Gary Lowe, but the team continued to improve. So I reckon that even though we're losing a couple of our players, this creates a good pathway for some of the younger raw talent to come through and show us what they got.
And speaking of raw talent, there's 19 new players in the squad.
Yes, a couple of them are coming in from the Intercity Cup.
Hopefully, I don't know, they could,
You never know. They could be playing as well, and next year when we're talking like this, we'll be talking about them joining an NRL club or signing with them. But it's really good to see a lot of our players, moving further in the sport. Also, yesterday was the Port Moresby Rugby League final over at Murray Barracks between the Royals and Brothers. I was there.
How was it?
Tit for tat.
First half, Brothers scored first, Royals scored. It was just, the game was just going back and forth. The crowd was awesome. Papua New Guineans, we love our rugby league, and it was jam-packed out there. It was really good to see everyone just out there really rooting and supporting in the true way to support for their teams.
So what next for the Port Moresby Rugby League competition?
That draws the end of the competition for 2015, so they're looking forward to 2016. The Royals we were crowned victors in the men's. Congratulations to the Royals in the men's and women's division. So the men won 26 points to 16, defeating Brothers. At halftime, it was 10-12, 2-point difference. I didn't know which way the game was going to go. I was impressed.
So what was the difference? What was the difference between the Royals and the Brothers?
I think the Royals just made use of the opportunities that were given, and they converted into points, and they just ended up outplaying the Brothers in the end. But from the get-go, it was just evenly matched. I couldn't tell who was going to win. If you asked me for a prediction at halftime, I couldn't, because both teams were just playing extremely well, and it was really good to see good class football out there.
Now coming up after that, I think Elijah, earlier Monday morning, you popped over to the
To Busera.
And Lakwahara Nines is coming up, and we'll talk about more of that right after these short messages. And welcome back to the show. Now, we just mentioned earlier before going to the break that, Elijah, this morning you took a road trip.
Yes, I went down to Tubusera for the Lakwahara Nines, which kicked off today with about 60 teams taking part.
Wow, 60 teams. That's
Yeah.
volumes. How long is this competition going to go for?
For this week, about 5 days. They have their finals on Friday, Thursday and Friday. Wow. So looking good with the member for Cairo Kuhiri. He sponsored the tournament, about like 20 grand,
20 grand
for the
wow.
tournament. But a lot of teams from everywhere, like, basically everywhere. Just
Yes, you were out there earlier this morning.
yeah, I was.
Were some of the teams out there?
Yeah, there were a couple of teams out there. I don't know. I think they were short of names or something, so we had like Hunters 1, Hunters 2, but then
Are there a couple of
yeah.
hunters? Oh wow, so there'll be a couple of hunters out there as well.
So this is what I got up to this morning.
I'm able to organize such a tournament to expose all our raw talent. You know, in whatever structure there is for football, I honestly do not understand, but I'm pretty sure, you know, many of you and some of you one day would be wearing the national jumper. Through sports, we want to use it as a medium to, you know, combat the social disorders that we have. You know, we want to encourage as much as possible our youth for today to stay away from drug and alcohol and every other unwanted activities. It is through sports also you build a healthy human being or human body, you know, that enhances you to live a longer life.
Great, exciting stuff there to look forward to for the Lakwahara Nines, and we should have all the updates for you on the next episode of Sports Scene. Now, Jeremy, there was a big football news as well last week.
Yeah, Elijah, you went for that. That was the announcement of the National Game Control Board giving 2 million kina to the PNG under 20 Women's World Cup side in preparation for next year's World Cup.
Yeah, and I'm not. Can I just ask you first? Do you think that's a lot of money, or?
I don't think it's enough.
You don't think it's enough?
Yep. It might look. It might seem
2 million is a lot of money, though.
Yes, but you look at every other country that's coming here and the amount of money that they're spending. 2 million doesn't just go to food and drinks and the team's uniform. We're talking about traveling outside of the country. The list, the itinerary that PNG football showed me shows that this particular national team, they're trying to have lead-up matches overseas, traveling to America, traveling to Australia, traveling across Asia, and that costs money. And that's where this all comes in. I mean, we can't expect these young people, I mean, any Papua New Guineans to represent the country, you can't expect them to dig into their own pocket to pay for it.
Exactly.
I mean, every single time. I mean, we've all been involved in one manner or another, in our various sports with our national teams. And I hate levy fees.
Yeah.
But the 2 million does seem like a lot of money, but in terms of actual preparation for this squad and the fact that this is not a qualifier, this is the World Cup itself.
Yeah. Now, we are ranked as, in our region, not including Australia and New Zealand, as the top team. What do you think our chances will be come next year?
Japan.
With the fact that we lost our coach,
Okay, so Gary Phillips is gone, the senior women's
Yes.
national team.
He was set to take over the junior
I
rugby.
think so. I think so. So he's gone. Ricky Herbert's gone. Milan Miric is gone. They've brought in a new coach. I haven't met her yet.
Lisa Cole, she should be here by the end of the week.
Yes, and is there enough time for them to prepare? I'm not too sure. About Papua New Guinea being the big guns in the Pacific, I'm not too sure about that particular factor as well. Why? Because this is the first time that we've got an actual under-20 squad
Okay.
playing at the world's biggest tournament.
Usually we
that.
have a senior team that
Yes.
does extremely
Yep.
well. Okay.
So the senior team is doing pretty good, but there are a number of players from the Pacific Games gold medal winning side who are in the under-20 team as well. So
But it's a whole new ballgame. You're going to be playing against competition on such a high level.
it is. I mean, I made mention last week that in terms of the World Cup, the Asian and the UEFA, the European group confederates, they've already qualified. So there's 7 teams plus New Zealand plus Papua New Guinea, and you've got Japan, North and South Korea, you've got France, Sweden,
Big guns.
Spain, and Germany who've already qualified. What if Brazil come?
That's gonna be awesome. Well, it'll be a good test for our team, our women's team as well, and to see how they go up against like the big guns in the world of football. Now, we'll still be on football, but that's pretty much a wrap from the 2 million kina that was given to the under-20 women's football team, and we'll take a short break right now, and we'll be back with some NSL action right after these messages. Welcome back to Sports Scene. Over the weekend saw the kickoff to the NSL 2015.
Yeah,
2015-16.
Yeah, last week Wednesday was of course the launching of the Telecom National Soccer League. Over the weekend, the 6 matches across 2 venues. Over in the Northern Conference, we had Lay City Dwellers trashing Gorka Gohisa.
Didn't you follow that team?
Your guys.
You did a mini profile on them.
Don't worry, boys. We'll get them next time.
Yes, that's because Elijah was born and raised in Goroka.
Mangi Goroka.
Big upset, Besta, the young boys,
Yes.
beat Medang FC 2 goals to 0. Yes, and in a tighter match, Welgris beat Admiralty by 1 goal.
Wow.
Yep. In fact, we have footage of that, and this report comes from Bethany Harriman in Lay.
In the first 10 minutes, Admiralty FC looked the attacking team. They showed a lot of pace from striker number 9, Lotte Richard. Further into the first half, a good effort by Admiralty FC's number 8, William Silla, put Lotte Richard ahead, but he wasted the opportunity. The return play saw Admiralty's goalkeeper forced out of the goal to save this attempt. Admiralty's number 13, Shane Sorrell, missed this lovely opportunity after an even lovely run by Admiralty's number 10, Sosangan Polayap. Walgris number 11, Emmanuel Yawi, scored in the 43rd minute to get the first goal of the match.
Go back in the training, I work strong, perform. According to coach like him.
Ora boy mika monte me amora mangi mo mangi lo place all. So I think it's our first game, and first game don't blast, so me think second game bambla make something straight.
It's the end of the first game of the round robin here at the Sir Ignatius Kilage Stadium. Walgreens Moresby United FC has edged in front of the Manus boys, winning by a goal. Admiralty FC had a lot of pace to show, but they didn't capitalize by scoring goals. In the first 10 minutes, Lay City Dwellers and Goroka Goshia opened the match with exchanges in the midfield and forwards. Both teams equally matched in the attack. Nigel Dabinyaba's presence in front proved menacing for the Goroka defenders. Dabinyaba opened the scoring when he pushed a Raymond Gunemba left wing cross into the back of the net, past Goshia goalkeeper Asa. Dabinyaba later added one more midway through the first half with a scintillating low-range strike past Goshia goalkeeper Twayang Asa after a through pass from Greg Gunemba. Lay City Dwellers Raymond Gunemba was outstanding in the first half, maintaining a central midfield presence and directing traffic. Much of the first half was played on the Goroka Goshia territory, keeping Goshia goalkeeper Twayang Asa busy. Halftime score, Lay City Dwellers led Goroka Goshia 2-0. In the second half, 20 minutes into the game, a break by Obat Bika. The striker slotted home a goal after maneuvering past Goshia goalkeeper. Less than a minute later, Obat Bika found himself in the box again after a pass from Koropol Albert. Bika made no mistake, putting the ball past Asa, again into the back of the net for the Dwellers' fourth goal. Deep into the second half, frustration took its toll. Goshia striker Derek Nakabana was shown a yellow card for a challenge on Jeffet Tiampo. Another goal in the last 10 minutes by Matthew David from a Koropol Albert right-wing cross put the Dwellers 5-0 ahead of the new boys from Goroka. Nigel Dabinyaba again broke away in the last 5 minutes to grab one more goal, giving him a hat-trick and pulling the Lay City Dwellers up by 6-0. He pulled another goal in the dying minutes to humiliate the newcomers and take the goal tally to 7-0.
Thanks, Bethany, for that. Jeremy, what about in the Southern Conference here in Port Moresby?
Yeah, a couple of big matches as well. The opening game was between FC Port Moresby and Huawei PS United.
They're a new team, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Just like the PRL grand final between Royals and Brothers for FC Port Moresby.
Back and forth?
Yes, back and forth. In fact, what happened, one of the game changers was the fact that their goalkeeper, FC Port Moresby's goalkeeper, Charles Lepani, he got sent off.
Why? Why?
Professional foul, one-on-one, striker coming through, keeper running out, missed the ball.
Do you think that was the main reason why they got defeated? Losing the keeper at that...
Not necessarily the keeper, it's just that you see, PS were placed under a huge amount of pressure earlier on. FC Port Moresby were dominating, especially in terms of possession. But when you have one player down, you have to work overtime. One player has to do two people's job. So they ran out of steam. PS started dominating. PS scored. The next matchup, really interesting. Hekari United FC beat Gira Naitepo. Yeah, you were at that game. And Kora Kupaiga, the left back for Hekari, then went up and played striker, scored 2 goals. They win the game. They win the game 4-2. Yesterday there was PK Rapatona and Erema FC, and Rapatona had 2 of their strikers, Patrick Isa, Peterson, Elijah. Their names might sound familiar, under 23 boys.
Yep.
They scored to see their side have a 2-1 victory. Interesting things that did happen. Tao Winnie, he plays for excuse me. Tao Winnie plays for Erema FC. He's played with Hekari before. 5 years ago was his last game. He played his first game yesterday and scored. Kora Kupaiga plays as a defender, scored 2 goals. Basil Jofari was man of the match for his team, even though they lost. Wow. And probably the biggest, at the end of the day, top goal scorer in the NSL right now after round number 1, Nigel Dabinyaba.
No surprise there.
4 goals. So
Okay, now
that's the wrap up.
You know what? I just realized how much I don't know much of these NSL players, and man, I'm just sitting here like a bit confused. But that's my homework, to go back and get to know these players by name and face. And that's Jeremy Morgie with all the NSL updates. And my oh my, it was a mouthful, but we got through it, right? Didn't we, Elijah?
Yes, we have to. We'll go to the field.
Yeah.
Probably this weekend.
Yes,
or
that's
so.
right. Now I actually want to get involved in football because there's a lot of football.
You guys
And you
are-
have exciting news about football.
Yeah, this is probably one of the last times you'll ever see me here on Sports Scene. We have a new platform. I know you're really happy about that. We have a new platform that's going to be launched in December called Football First, and it covers everything about football in Papua New Guinea, Oceania region, leading up to the World Cup.
So Jeremy doesn't take over Sports In with
So
all
we
his
don't
football.
take over Sports Scene anymore.
So we'll just take a few short messages and we'll be back with more Sports Scene. Welcome back to the show. Now, around the world, there was big news over the week about the passing of a rugby union legend, John Alomu, and here's a bit of a tribute to John Alomu.
In terms of fame and frame, rugby players don't get much bigger than Jonah Lomu. His rapid ascent began in 1994, when as a 19-year-old he dazzled the world at the most famous Sevens event of them all.
John Alomu, a great player indeed, and he will surely be missed. He paved the platform for a lot of Polynesian athletes to come through, especially in the sport of rugby. What do you remember about John Alomu?
I don't remember him scoring, but I do remember the tackle that George Gregan made on John Alomu. I think this was semi-finals.
He was just a beast.
Yeah,
He used to run over everybody.
He just, man, when he
Well,
had
he's
the ball-
he's the original giant winger.
Yeah, he was the first, probably one of the first I've seen. Like before, they always
That
wanted the
probably
wingers to
means
be-
I watched him play before you guys were born.
Probably that's because you were born in the Ice Age. Anyway, also last week, Richie McCaw, All Blacks captain, announced his retirement after over 14 years of playing rugby.
He's the most capped player for New Zealand as well.
Most capped ever. So and he made history by winning the World Cup back-to-back in 2011 and just recently in London. So what a great way to end his
Well,
career.
here's something very interesting about Richie McCaw, in case you didn't know. He's actually a pilot. He can handle a helicopter and small planes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So stepping away from rugby union, he's going to put most of the time into flying, which is his other passion.
Yeah, it's I guess an end of a chapter, but start of a new one. But it's been a hell of a ride, and I don't sit here sad. I actually sit here just happy with what I've done, the experiences I've had, and looking forward to what's in the future.
What a champion he is, and he ends his career after achieving almost everything that you could in the sport. So huge congratulations to him, the man. Also, we got to go around, right, Elijah?
Yes.
Well, more of you now.
Well, we started in the car park and then all the way up.
So just tell the viewers what this is all about.
Well, basically, this is like the life of a sports reporter. So,
here at EMTV.
Yeah.
So just take a look.
Another, day of work. Not too sure what today holds for me. Hey, good morning, guys.
So Elijah's pretending to be busy right now. Right now, Jaylee and I are working on a script.
No, I'm busy.
So we're scripting a story for this evening's news. We have Mickey on the other side. He's from the news department. That is Mickey Cabrera. Mickey, aren't you gonna say hi to everybody on Sports Scene?
Keep calm and pretend it's not Monday. From Mary Bartolo.
Well, it's Monday today, Sports in Mondays. We all know how busy those are.
Type my script for a story that I'm working on, and I've just sent it in for it to be checked, and yeah, it should be ready.
Last week, noodles. Last week, noodles.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
KFC.
KMC. I'm just going to use it. Sarah, after eat noodles.
So right now, we are in the studio. As you can see, this is World Sports, World News. We're on set for Sporting episode number 44, 2015.
The last time that I'm joining on Sports.
Yeah, probably one of the final episodes of this year. So what we pretty much do, and yeah, this is the green screen. We are right now in the studio.
We're just waiting for Elijah to come.
Elijah likes grooming himself. So he's probably putting on his little makeup, eyeliner. Elijah just came in. You done with your makeup? So Elijah's just finished putting on his makeup and his eyeliner and everything else.
Hey, no, it's actually true. Look at his face.
Yeah, it is true. One and cue. Good evening, Papua New Guinea, and welcome to tonight's episode of Sports Scene. So we've just finished on set, and we have the beautiful, lovely Miss Jaylee with us. So she's with the boys today, and yeah, so we just finished our links for the show, which you shall see tonight.
She's gonna dance for them.
Yeah.
We actually have to rely on Jaylee.
Yeah, Jaylee gave us all the information.
She's the hunter's girl.
She's not this girl for the team. That's it, guys. Good night.